Hi, I have a message today called Invited into Relaxation. It's another talk. The instructions I've received are that I will be doing these talks more often than writing out a message. I think I still will be writing out messages, but I think I will be talking more than writing. What else? I think I can share this with you because it probably applies to a lot of people. It's almost like the message or instruction is you better start expressing because it's like this pressure is going to build up. And if I don't express, which is the instruction, right, it's just going to build up and find different, less pleasant channels, I think, to express. So I need to express and share and publish, and I don't need to know why. I just need to do it. So, I recorded a message yesterday, didn't publish it. I've been in this very quiet mode where publishing hasn't been the thing, and now I'm getting the instruction like, oh no, publish it. So, okay, I have to publish the one from yesterday. I have to publish the one from today, and I gotta learn how to get into that rhythm. I also recently started taking voice lessons again, which I haven't done in decades, and just the vocal expression, something wants us to express and let the flow outward, even though the flow outward is an illusion too. Let it be, let it flow, find and follow the instructions you get along the way. So I'm doing my best to stay with that flow and not turn around and push in the opposite direction. Okay, so today is invited into relaxation. And the first idea is you are always invited into relaxation and letting go. So when I have a problem, I cannot have a problem without being turned around in opposition to the flow that's here for me to guide me through this maze, through this illusion I made. I can't have a single problem unless I'm turned backward, facing the flow of love and opposing it, trying to block it. And so it's always very simple. I just turn around and let it carry me. And ego will send lots of thoughts about problems and solutions and situations and shoulds and shouldn'ts and blames and wrongdoers. And ego will have many thoughts about all of these things and defining exactly what the problem is and why and where the problem's roots were. And none of this is needed. I just have to have the presence of mind to turn around, have the flow of love be going with me, allow the flow of love to carry me forward, and know in that next moment, I don't know what instruction I'm going to be getting, but I'll get something. I'll have some sense of what to do. And maybe the sense will just be wait, focus, pray, look inward for a very long time. Maybe the instructions will just be pay attention to your thoughts, keep meeting your thoughts, keep meeting your thoughts, keep meeting your thoughts for days or weeks at a time. Or maybe you'll get very distinct physical instructions. Go here, go there, do this thing. And all of them are instructions. Whether it seems you're only doing the work on yourself and looking inward and looking at your mind, that's action. Just as much as feeling you've been told to go out into the world and do a particular thing, share a particular thing. The instruction is always here. The opportunity is always here. And if you believe you're not receiving instructions, then just go inward and notice what you're thinking and set aside the thoughts of the ego. The thoughts of the ego or any thought associated with any not good feeling. It's always very simple. And then just turning toward love and light and focusing on that for as long as you can. And it's pretty much that simple. And then when we get distracted away again, returning our focus to what is real. Love is real, or any synonym you want to use for love, like truth, beauty. Love is not of time or space. We made up every single aspect of time and space to block love. Our awareness that love is all there is, and we are love. We're united in love. So what's time and space for? To be turned over to love, so love can use it to help us fully remember who we are. And that means we don't know anything in particular about time and space. We may seem to, we may have shreds of memory. It may guide our actions along the way. That's fine. Everything we think we know about time and space is usable by love, by what we are joined together in unity. Love can use everything we think we know about time and space to guide us through and out of the illusion of it together. The point is to leave. Being as blunt as I can, because we cherish various separate aspects of time and space and we get hung up on it. But when you recognize you are not that, you're everything that's shining behind time and space and always has been shining behind time and space, or upon it, or out from within it, or up from underneath it. Give the light any direction you want. You are that, and so is everyone you call else, no matter what Halloween costume they're wearing right now. And you lovingly designed and hand-stitched every single one of those costumes. When I say you, I mean me, because there's only one of us. Any eye could say this. Any costume I see any body or personality wearing and giving them a role in time and space, I lovingly hand-stitched that costume for them, and I provided their script. And my person may not be aware of this, but my person is not who I am. And I'm waking up to who I am. And I'm waking up that I made up a play of opposites. Like Shakespeare? You are Shakespeare. Shakespeare is you. You made up a play of opposites. But behind that play is what is real, shining forever, and that's you. And that's anyone you call else. So you are always invited into relaxation and letting go. If you experience anything you call problem, just turn around and remember that you put your separate self in charge of something when your separate self doesn't truly exist. Your unified self exists. So it should feel tense and off and wrong to put your separate self in charge of something. It should feel that way, and it's helpful that it does. And it gives you the opportunity to turn around and relax into the flow that's here for everyone. And the more you do this, the more you bring the awareness of this very loving flow, always available no matter what the circumstance, to everyone. The more you bring this flow to everyone you call other, with no exceptions. So as you do in your life, that is what you share with everyone, and never any exceptions to that. Okay, we invite you to play with the feeling of wanting something. So during your day, you're going to run into the idea that you want something, and you could pause, me too, to just look at it. Is there any tension or stress? Is it a tension or stress you just accept as normal and natural? And could you look at that and see what the thought is and set it aside and focus on what's really here? And if you don't know what's really here, you could say, I'm going to set aside this feeling of wanting, and whatever's really here, I'm going to invite it to make itself known to me. And then you could just pause for a little while. So this feeling of want and need, we can use time to just look at it And it doesn't mean that you don't go get lunch when you think you're hungry. It just means you're using time to look at thoughts about wanting and needing. And then you pause and you request to get assistance in relaxing into what is truly here. Not a thought about a separate self wanting and needing a separate thing, but what is truly here. And you use time for that. And then whatever's next is next, and you don't have to judge that in any way. Now, when you play with thought and take time to stop and notice thought, will you find horrible things? Yes. They're fake things. The ego thoughts are fake thoughts, and as you look inward, you will find horrible things that bring up massive discomfort. Isn't that a nice advertisement for this work? But here's the reason I'm making this point. The whole time you encounter these thoughts as only thoughts, you're not encountering them as horrible events. You're encountering the thoughts in your mind, and you recognize them as thoughts in your mind. And you may react fearfully, but Spirit is here with you every step of the way. Or Jesus, if you like, or whoever, forms can show up as teachers for you, specific forms. Whoever's there with you will hold your hand and be an encompassing, enfolding presence and carry you through that. And it's not a time and space thing, it's the exploration of your mind. The horrible things you find in your mind are the source of the horrible things you see in the world. You think you didn't make up the world you experience, but you did. Now, when I say you, I mean I. And you don't have to apply this to yourself if it doesn't resonate. But from my perspective, there's only one of us. And any of us can take responsibility for the illusion we make. It's like a movie on repeat that we keep witnessing. And we might as well put the movie to good use. And look inward at the source of the movie. Here's the projector. Here's the film. It's your mind. And any one of us can look into our mind. Our minds aren't separate. It's like we're in one office pretending we have separate cubicles, but we don't really. So we look into the mind, and we serve all as we look into this mind and we allow it to heal. And if it looks like the world has separate aspects in it that can come and attack you, remember it's projected from your mind. It's a very convincing illusion. Why? Because you have a very powerful mind. Everyone does. We all share the same mind. But we still have our office cubicles up and we're pretending so hard that we don't. But we do. So that's why I interchange the you and the I. And I never want to sound like I'm lecturing to you. Somehow you're hearing this and something in you must resonate. Even if it seems like you're fighting it too. So you go into the feeling of wanting something, and it might be a very mild experience. You might go through the deepest fear thoughts in your mind, but whatever you're doing, whether it seems mild or major, Spirit is with you. And behind all that fake thought, all that ego thought that seems to be present in the mind, is your sane thought. So when you look inward, you're looking inward toward your sane thoughts. It's just this crap is on top of it. And Spirit helps you kind of sift through. We're all hoarders. Okay, we're hoarders in this mind, and we have to allow the cleanup. Why do you think we have symbols, helpful symbols of hoarders in our world? Everything's a reflection of your mind. And we have to allow the cleanup, including an environment that you could comment upon positively or negatively as far as the state of the natural environment. That's a reflection of your mind. You might as well allow the cleanup at the very source, which is in your mind, because your mind is the projector of the movie, of the experience, and of every seemingly separate aspect of that experience. So what you do when you feel you want something and you say, well, I could go get it, it's available to me, or it's not available to me, and I have this sense of yearning, whichever it is, I'm going to give myself a minute to look at this thought that I want or need something, recognize that it's a thought the ego sent me, recognize that I can set it aside, and focus on a thought of sanity. Instead, for just a moment, I'm going to reach toward my sane thoughts. You know what kind of world sane thoughts show us? A sane world where we have no reason to distrust or fear anyone or anything. We want to reach toward those sane thoughts. We want to pay attention to them. And one of those thoughts is, a happy outcome to all things is sure. That's a lesson from A Course in Miracles. Happens to be the one I'm focusing on today. So when I set aside an ego thought today, then I'm going to focus on a happy outcome to all things is sure. I'm going to reach toward what's going to bring that happy outcome about. I'm going to rest in that for a moment. And that's how I train my mind to rest in that place where I allow the happy outcome to be brought about. You allow the happy outcome to be brought about. Doesn't matter whether it's the I or you or the you, it's the same thing. And we decide that. So we get ourselves into a place of rest where we can make a sane decision to choose love, to choose sanity. And if I'm out there barking at the world that I made up, that it needs to change, that doesn't make any sense. I have to go back to the source, back to the projector, and remember who I am, and remember who you are, and remember we're actually safe and loved forever. And then allow the world to take the shape it takes as I let Spirit lead, and as I have the willingness to recognize Spirit or love or God in everyone and everything. So ego sends us thoughts. This form will fulfill me. So you can notice how many times a day you think you need a thing, and you think you need someone to do something. You think you need the light to turn green, and this form will fulfill me. So you do very important work when you can see you believe thoughts like this. This form will fulfill me. This sandwich will fulfill me. Getting to sleep will fulfill me. Having somebody agree with me or pay attention to me will fulfill me. This form will fulfill me. You are fully fulfilled by love in every moment as you truly are. And if you have a willingness to remember yourself, and therefore everybody, because everybody is you, as you truly are. I'm distracted because I found a little sparkle on the table, and it was a little star. As we allow ourselves to remember who everyone truly is, that is the fulfillment. The fulfillment is not about forms. But it seems we still have a life to live here. The easiest way to live this life is to turn it over to what we are to handle. So we can turn every aspect of this life here in time and space, of this experience, over to Spirit and say, use it. Use all of it to wake everybody up. I'm ready now. I'm done pretending. These forms won't fulfill me. I finally get it. No form here can fulfill me. I'm already loved and I'm safe. Okay, so a happy life is about loving, not about achieving or getting. So we can see in our day when we're oriented toward achieving, and we can take moments to stop and remember a sane thought. So we take our focus off of the achievement of something specific, if there's any tension there, and refocus. A happy outcome to all things is sure. I don't have to drive or force myself. I don't have to drive or force myself. There's a flow here for everyone. And then let the flow carry us. And we've been told to self-control everything. You're in charge of your separate life, and you self-control every aspect of this. But if we keep reminding ourselves frequently throughout the day, there's this greater flow that can be in charge of all these little details. And as I keep reminding myself that it's here, naturally, gradually, it takes over. And when that flow takes over, that flow is all of us. And we feel very at home here. So as that flow takes over, well, how does it take over? We remember it's here and we agree to let it take over. Many little times a day we stop and remember it, and then it does take over. It's always been here for us. We just didn't quite remember how to allow it. And with every passing day, more and more of us are remembering. And as more and more of us remember, that light travels throughout our whole mind. We share one mind. And it gets easier and easier for everyone to remember. Okay, you can always allow love to extend. Why? Because love is everywhere, in everything. And when we have any energy of resistance or driving forward or stressing out or worrying or analyzing, fighting, trying to fight for victory, any of that energy, we're projecting fear on a surface. Like we're shooting the fear movie out in front of us. And that's the flow we're in and we've agreed to. You can stop. You can stop in the middle of that. You can stop dead in the middle of that. And remember, oh, I'm love. Everyone's love. Everything's love. And I always have the power to allow that love to extend. Just practice that thought. That's your true power. That's everyone's true power. And we all share it equally. This is not a type of power anyone can take away from anyone. It's not based on form. It's just who you are. So you can always allow love to extend in the middle of whatever stressor or driving forward energy or trying to win or trying to dominate. You can stop within that and remind yourself of everyone's true power. And then I can see what comes next. And what comes next can make itself obvious. Maybe what comes next looks like nothing. That's okay. And then maybe what comes next after that looks like a specific instruction. And that's okay too. But when we stop to question the illusion we made from fear, we get in touch with what we are. When we pause in what we are, love and light, take the villainiest villain you can imagine. Behind the costume you hand-stitched for them, behind the script you handed to them, and they are such good actors. Behind that, they're just love and light. And we can always allow that to extend. We have to ignore everything the ego said about everything ever. So you get good at ignoring, and you get good at resting, and you get good at allowing. And that's what we're doing here. The judging, the analyzing, there's still a strong attraction to it and valuing of it. But yeah, not so much. We know it's not the answer. There's a deeper answer. And we all have it. And we all can allow that deeper answer. Right now, there's really no barrier to that deeper answer except for our willingness to hear it. That's it. So the answer we need, it's right here for us right now. And we can make a habit and a practice of pausing and allowing it to extend. Okay, thank you and happy healing.